Hello again. Another video, another deck tech. This one is another gimmicky deck because I like gimmicks apparently. So we have Big Baby, Child of Alara, one of my older favorites. 5 colors, and Big Baby is the master of this deck because it blows everything up all the time. And especially in 1v1, you would just want to keep blowing up the things that they do or preventing them, kind of rattlesnaking them from putting anything into play because they know Big Baby could blow up at any time. But that is really not the point of this deck. I don't necessarily want to whine and cry and blow everything up. I just want to win with Maze's End. Really stupid card, but I love gimmicks. It's hard for me to resist. So with Maze's End came from, whatever that last Ravnica block was, and enters battlefield tapped. It adds 1 colorless mana. So far, sucks. Pay 3, tap it, return it to your hand, search your library for a gate, and put that gate onto the battlefield, then shuffle. And if you control 10 or more gates of different names, you win the game. So there we go. That is one of 3 ways that you can win the game in this. One of 4 ways, I guess. You can beat down with Big Baby. That is a viable option. Or you can win with 10 gates on the field. So, without further ado, how does the Maze's End deck work? Well, we've got 1 basic mountain, 2 basic swamps, 2 basic islands, 3 basic plains, and 4 basic forests, because forests are the life. Well, 5 basic forests. Then, as on the Maze's End card we talked about, we have 10 different gates. Gates everywhere. Gruul, Dimir, Simic, Izzet, Azorius, Boros, Selesnya, Orzhov, Golgari. Yay! And then, lots of the tri-lands. These come into play tapped usually, but we do play an Amulet of Vigor so that they don't. There's one that I'm missing. I think it's the Arcane Sanctum. So I have 9 tri-lands. Exotic Orchard. Any mana that your foes can produce, you make. Temple of the False God. You make a lot of mana. You have 40 lands in this deck, so that's not too hard to get 5. Crystal Quarry. In case you need to make Big Baby, this filters it. It's a great filter land. Rainbow Veil, friendly, loving, gives any mana you want, and then you give it to somebody else who you like. City of Brass, pings you, hurts. Forbidden Orchard, add any mana you want, but also give somebody a spirit, also a sort of political card. Command Tower, yay. Alright, Amulet of Vigor, an absolute must-have since almost every land in this deck comes into play tapped. Soul Ring, Kaleidostone, again, filtration for the old Big Baby, and it draws a card when it comes into play to replace itself. Felwar Stone, because you really don't mind getting any kind of mana. Coalition Relic is some sweet ramp that gets you 2 mana of different colors on every other turn. Horn of Greed, got some lands coming into play, so why not draw cards? Chromatic Lantern, this is a must-have for this kind of deck, I would say, or maybe any 5-color deck. Tamio's Journal. This is going to be great. This makes investigation tokens. And since we're talking about, I know this was in Innistrad or whatever, but it's Jace, so it's Ravnica, that's its home plane. He's investigating. He's looking for the Maze's End, man. Where's he going to find it? I don't know. So there we go. We got some creature-ish and enchantment ramp. Exploration allows you to play additional lands on each of your turns. Courser of Krufix. You can play lands off the top and gain life for them off the top of your library. Bird Paradise. Lotus Cobra. Lands coming into play. There aren't a lot of fetches to really ramp with this, but I figured, why not? If there's any deck that's going to have a Lotus Cobra in it, this should probably have it. Rites of Flourishing. Draws extra cards, and you can play additional lands every turn. And so can everybody else, but, it's a friendly deck. It's not a competitive deck. Oracle of Moldiah. Yay. Play additional lands and draw off the top of your deck. Skyward Eye Prophets. 3/3 with Vigilance for 6. Not great, but if you reveal the top of your card, top of your library, and it's a land, you can put it into play. Otherwise, you just draw it. So that's actually kind of a sweet ability. Zendikar Resurgent, great new card. It's very cheap right now. I would suggest getting a lot of these if you can. It was from Oath of the Gatewatch. Whenever you tap a land for mana, add 1 mana of your mana pool, any type that land produced. So, and it includes colorless. So if you have like Weird Eldrazi deck or something, you can make 2 colorless instead of just 1. Not only that, whenever you cast a creature spell, you draw a card. So this is pretty sweet. Nice ramp there. Then we got Swords to Plowshares. This is on my destructive section. Hull Breach destroys an artifact and an enchantment. Hell Vault. Hey now, you can exile things. Who knows if it'll come in handy. I didn't really think this one out that much. Figured it should be in there though. Detention Sphere. Haha, exile a bunch of tokens. That's my favorite thing to do. Decimate. I love this card. If you are playing in Commander and you cannot find one of each target, artifact, creature, enchantment, and land, in order to cast this spell, then I'm not sure who you're playing against. Because for 4 mana to destroy 4 problem permanents, that is insane. Planar Cleansing. Oh yeah. Destroy all non-land permanents. All you care about is your lands, your mazes, inns, and your gates. And then if there's some problems that happen, then you get out this Therese Nielsen art legacy weapon. If you play the other one with the ship on it, well, I don't know if it works as well. But this one, you can pay 5 to remove target permanent from the game. And if it's going to go in a graveyard, you just reshuffle it into the library. It never goes away. Ghostly Prison. Here's some white kind of rattlesnakey protection things. Ghostly Prison makes everybody pay 2 to attack you. For each creature. Terra Eternal gives all your lands indestructible. Doesn't work that great with Big Baby, so you kind of have to play this weird balance of what you need at the moment. Windborn Muse. Again, this is like a Ghostly Prison on a stick. Flies around. And then, speaking of flying, Blazing Archon. Outright, no, you can't even pay 2 to attack me. You just don't attack me. Stay away. I'm a screaming, blind black lady on a lion with a sword on fire. Yep, that's it. And then we have Conflux. Woohoo! So you can go search your library for 1 card of each color. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Here's another win condition. One of the 4 win conditions. So you kill with Big Baby, you kill with Mazes In, or you win by putting random filibuster counters on Azor's Elocutors. Because this deck also has a different theme to it, which you'll see very soon. It is a political deck. I'm all about, like, even with the lands, I'll give you this fairy if you don't blah, 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 or whatever, So this guy, filibustering. What's more political than that? Congress, do nothing, bastards. Then we got door to nothingness. Woohoo! Somebody passes a bill you don't like, say like the attack and kill you bill. Well, door to nothingness them, and then you don't have to worry about it. Then you got some card draw. Preordained, Ponder, Ancient Cravings, pay 3 life, draw 3. Arcanist the Omnipotent, draw 3 cards all the time. He's pretty insane. And Niv Mizzet. I figure since who's the master of the maze? Niv Mizzet's the master of the maze. Makes sense, right? Then we've got some tutor effects. And these tutor effects are going to be for what? Non-basic lands. It's hard to find that. So, Teleria West, Transmute for 3. You can basically search for another card that has 0 casting costs, which in this case is your Maze's End or whatever. A Guild Gate that you need to finish. Expedition Map. The only, pay 1, sacrifice it, search your library for a land, and put it in your hand. Crop Rotation. Sack one of your lands and then search your library for a replacement and put it into play. Too bad we can't play Primeval Titan anymore. Primeval Titan would make this deck a lot of fun. Weathered Wayfarer. Here's a little hidden gem that a lot of people don't know about still, I think. So 1/1 for for white, you can search your library for a land card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library if your opponent controls more lands than you. So you can even, like, at the beginning of turn number 2, if they've already played their second land, just use this and then put a land card into your hand before you play yours. He's just a great repeatable land search, and he searched for any land. What a busted little 1/1. Sylvan Scrying, search your library for land, put it in your hand. Tempt with Discovery. Similarly, is a great temptation card. I like temptation cards. Yeah, because my cards are going to do more than yours. So does anybody want to search for lands? Yeah, lands? Great. All right, well, I'm going to find 5 guild gates. Sounds great, and I'm going to put them onto the battlefield. Ridiculous. Wargate. Basically a tutor for 3. It'll allow you to search for a permanent with mana cost X. And I'm sure there's other things you could search if you really needed to. Realm Seekers. So Realm Seekers is a really cool card out of the first Conspiracy. Here's a battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the number of cards in all players' hands. So that's pretty sweet. But then you get to remove counters to search your library for a land card and put that into your hand. So you're exchanging counters for lands. Pretty sweet card. And he's a pretty big dude when he comes into play. Garruk, Wild Speaker, you should always play him. Especially in a deck where you want to untap your lands, like your mazes in, for instance. When it comes into play tapped, you untap it, then search for a guild gate. Frailise, Land of War's Fury. She's green. She doesn't have a whole lot to do with this deck, to be honest, so she could be replaced by something. But Jace, however, he's the Unraveler of Secrets. He's searching for things, for clues. He's going to find the mazes in before Niv Mizzet, I don't know, does something to him. And he's drawing cards and doing his thing. So he's in the deck, sort of a thematic little element. Alright, so if you want to get things back from the graveyard, Life from the Loam. That'll do it. Get 3 land cards from your graveyard to your hand, and you can dredge, but you don't really want to dredge in this deck. Crucible of Worlds. Woohoo! Such a fun card. They think they destroyed your guild gates? Nope, you did not. They're back. Eternal Witness. Similarly, got level Ewit. All Sun's Dawn. For each color, turn up to 1 target card of that color from your graveyard to your hand for 5 mana. Pretty stellar. Pretty stellar. You can even let Big Baby die, you know, and then return Big Baby to your hand in addition to other cards. Titania, Protector of Argoth. So when she comes into play, she gets to return a land from your graveyard to battlefield, which is sweet. And then also if you're doing, you know, playing multiple lands per turn, well, then you can make a bunch of 5/3s, and you might be able to kill with those too. Sun Titan, recurse things, mostly Crucible of Worlds, but other things too, other lands, whatever. All right, now here's the political section. So the idea behind this deck was like, it's 5 color, it's silly, it's not going to do a whole lot. Let's just have fun with it. I wanted to make a deck that was centered around voting, so this seemed kind of like the deck to do it. So we've got Illusion of Choice, where instant speed, you can kind of change how people vote and draw a card. We've got Split Decision, a Will of the Council card. For 2, an instant, choose target instant or sorcery, starting with you. Each player votes for denial or duplication. If denial gets more votes, counter it. If duplication gets more votes, vote is tied, copy it, and you can choose new targets. So it's either a fork or a counter, who knows. Council's Judgment, Will of the Council, for 2 white and colorless, starting with you. Each player votes for a non-land permanent you don't control. Exile each permanent with the most votes or tied for the most votes. Pretty sweet. Plea for Power. This is either drawing 3 or taking an extra turn. And both modes are great for 4 mana. Coercive Portal. So at the beginning of upkeep, you can choose Carnage or Homage. And so Carnage, this one could be dangerous if there's a lot of players with things in their graveyard, because you don't play a lot of great creatures. So if Carnage gets more votes, then you just destroy everything. That's when you want to play it. But if Homage gets more votes, I guess then you just draw a card. Sorry about the graveyard thing. I was confusing it. I was thinking that it was like more of a living death thing where it would bring everything out of the graveyard. But that is this one. That is Magister of Worth. So Magister of Worth, as you can see, I like Magister of Worth a lot. I have the playmat, got it signed by Mr. Post himself, and I also got the card signed by Mr. Post. So Flying, Will of the Council, 4/4. When it enters the battlefield, starting with you, vote for Grace or Condemnation. If Grace gets more votes, each player returns every creature from his or her graveyard to the battlefield. Not great for you. But if Condemnation gets more votes, or the vote is tied, destroy all creatures other than Magister of Worth. And so she sticks around, flies around. I love her. And then Expropriate. 9 mana for this silly thing. Council's Dilemma. Starting with you, vote for time or money. For each time vote, take an extra turn. That's right. And for each money vote, choose a permanent owned by a voter and gain control of it. Then exile, expropriate, so you can't play it twice. So think about that. So if you can do illusion of choice and then have everyone vote for time along with this card, then you can take like 6 extra turns. And in a Maze's End deck, that is about how long you need to actually get this stupid thing to work. And then finally, this one makes me laugh because it brings Conspiracy 2 and the Monarchy into the game. I could probably do that with more cards. Leave some comments if you would like. But Protector of the Crown enters the battlefield and you become the king. I am the king of this maze. All hail, and all damage that will be dealt to me is dealt instead to him. So I'm the king, and now get my damage, buddy. Alright, so that's my Maze's End deck. Hope you liked it. Woohoo! See ya on the flippity flop. Comment below if you really have some great ideas to make this more fun, because this is not necessarily a competitive deck. Thanks for watching.